The Man in the High Castle is a series on Amazon. It's an Amazon original released in 2015. And in November 2019, they released their fourth and final season. And that's pretty much when I discovered the show, right before the fourth season was released. And I personally enjoyed the show. I thought it was really interesting. I didn't expect to see, after a week of the show being, on Amazon, I didn't expect to see it getting 1 star ratings the way it was. And I didn't know why until I started to read through the ratings. And I realized that people were bashing the show for being leftist, racist, SJW politics, what is that? Social justice warrior. Bashing it for promoting communist propaganda and a bunch of other stuff. So that's what I'm going to talk a little bit about. I wanted to start with looking at an overview of the Black Communist Rebellion on this website called fandom.com or what. So on fandom, it says Black Communist Rebellion. The Black Communist Rebellion, known by its abbreviation BCR, is a left-wing black nationalist organization founded by Something Hampton, which sought to achieve a sovereign state for African Americans in the Japanese Pacific states. The exact time the movement was founded is never specified, but is implied to have been started in the late 1950s to the early 1960s in Oakland, California, Japanese Pacific states. It received support from communist rebels in China, who were also at the time engaging in open rebellion against the Japanese states. I guess this is what a lot of people are complaining about. The BCR wanted to create a communist republic only for black people where they would be free from racial discrimination and persecution they faced from the Greater Nazi Reich, the Japanese Empire, and the regular white Americans living in both states in the neutral zone. I get when, people don't like when you add diversity to something for the sake of it because you're trying to fill a quota or you're trying to reach a certain audience. And when you make these additions or these changes to a show, it doesn't necessarily help the show. Sometimes it even ruins the show. I hope that doesn't sound offensive or whatever. And I'm not only specifically talking about black people. It could be any kind of group you're trying to add to a show, and it just sometimes it doesn't fit. And people that like the show, they just don't like this change. So I get that part of this. It's still not a big enough thing for me to sit there and complain about. Like I would if it was just like a bunch of, suddenly in season 4, it was just like a bunch of men having sex and stuff like that. Then I would be like, this show, that's just distasteful, and they really ruined the show. But this, I'm not complaining about it too much. I feel like with the Nazis controlling a large chunk of the world, you can expect some extreme ideologies. And as far as people complaining about being subjected to communism, it's a show about Nazis, so you can expect a whole bunch of propaganda. I didn't know that, we didn't all sign up for this when we decided to watch the show. If this edition, the BCR, you didn't exactly like it, then fine. I don't think the Amazon reviews for The Man in the High Castle is a place to rant about what you don't like about the left. Constant 1 star reviews, I don't think that's fair to the actors. I think the actors actually did a great job. Whether I like their characters or not, I personally didn't care for Juliana's character. I didn't really care for the whole Japanese part of this show in general. and not the BCR either. It has nothing to do with them being Japanese or black or anything. Just those storylines to me weren't that interesting. I mean, I didn't hate the show because of it, and I'm not going to rate it 1 star. I definitely would have liked to see more of the show in Berlin, and with the Nazi Reich in the US. So I mean, not the US, but you know what I mean. I feel bad that the actors put their energy into making this show, and they did a good job as far as whatever character they were trying to portray. And people kind of just took a giant crap all over all of it. Reviews like this also make it difficult for similar shows to be produced, because people are going to automatically think, it's going to get backlash, it's not going to do well, and they're not going to want to produce shows like this anymore. So I don't think this show deserved these 1 star ratings and all these rants. And if you didn't like a particular thing about the show, that's fine. Like I said, I didn't really care for the whole Japanese Pacific states at all, or the BCR. But, I'm not going to bash the show over that. Anyway, tell me what you guys think. Leave a comment. Be nice. Peace.